This video is sponsored by Overtime Heroics, made by the fans, for the fans. The Widows are coming off their third loss in a row against the Swordfish 4-1 and are now 5-7 entering the two-game series against the Battlehawks. Last time these teams met, the Battlehawks thrashed the Widows 10-1. With the aces of each staff in Slider and Starling meeting in the first game of the series, the Widows are hoping to break the losing streak. The Widows do make their first player move of the season as they signed 29-year-old second baseman Tatiana May for $4.4 million and released 37-year-old Gonsi Colbert. There was talk of De La Cruz being released. Instead, they decided to go in another direction and sign a better backup in May, who can also play shortstop, so we'll see how this signing helps the team going forward. In Game 1, Carla Pontarelli gets the day off as Kanye Jin takes over behind the plate, and Tatiana May will make her Widow debut as she fills in at second, giving Fatima De La Cruz the day off as well. Yao Ling starts the top of the first inning, facing Summer Starling, who enters third in the league in strikeouts with 24. Ling flies out to Jenna Bond in right to begin the game. Chloe Nightingale is up next, and she's Starling's first strikeout victim of the day, swinging through the 103-mile-per-hour fastball. Her sister Lilith is up next, and a fantastic play at second from Kai Zitkala ends the Widow half of the first. Zitkala leads off the Battlehawks half of inning number 1, and she's robbed of a hit by Crush Gonzalez in left, as she extends out to make a gorgeous catch for out number 1. Robin Reed is second in the order. She weakly grounds out to Slider for out number 2. Reno Fulton is up next, and he's been on a tear lately, but he slowly rolls out to first, and the first inning is over. Crush Gonzalez leads off the top of the second with a walk. Rose Davenport, however, will not be able to move her over to second as she goes down on strikes. Jennifer Marks up next, and she takes the first pitch into right center. It rolls to the wall, and Marks slides into second, barely beating the throw. So, runners in scoring position for the new signee, Tatiana May. Summer welcomes her to the AWL with a strikeout as May chases the high pitch. So, 2 out, 2 on for Kanye Jin. Jin is able to work a walk and load the bases for Serena Slider, who already has 2 RBIs this season. Slider gets her third RBI as she singles into center, and the Widows strike first. Ling looks to break the game wide open early as she lifts the 1-1 into center field, but it runs out of steam at the warning track for a loud out number 3. Widows are leading, however, by 1. Top of the third, 1 out, and Lilith Nightingale is at the plate. She pops the 2-2 pitch high into left field, and it just keeps going till it's over the wall for a solo home run. It's her first of the year and her second RBI. Widows extend the lead to 2. Top of the fourth, and Tatiana May is back for her second at-bat. She sends the first pitch to right, but is not able to fall down in time as Bond reaches down for the first out. Jin digs in after a walker first time. She's able to make contact on the inside 3-2, and it gets into center field for a single. Slider trying to keep the inning going, but the hard hit ground ball results in a 4-6-3 double play for the Battlehawks. Widows still lead by 2. Bottom 4, and Robin Reed leads off looking to do something to get her team on the board. She does just that as the slider from Serena hangs and Reed mashes it into right. Marks jumps up but cannot bring it back as the team captain homers. Robin's second home run and 10th RBI cuts the lead to 1. Top 5 and 2 outs. Lilith Nightingale is up, and she works herself on with the walk, checking her swing in time. Crush Gonzalez's turn, and she also walks on the 4th straight to bring up Rose Davenport. Davenport is sent down to first on a 4-pitch walk from Starling, so 3 straight walks load the bases for Jennifer Marks. I rhymed a little bit. Jennifer hits a hard ground ball right to short, and the chance to take control of the game fails. Bottom 5 and 1 out on the inning as Khalil Archer digs in. He looks at the fastball, and that's strike 3. Second out as Frank tries to keep the inning going next. And she's not able to do so as Slider blows the fastball by her upstairs for the final out of the inning. Bottom 6 and Summer Starling exits as Jay Munoz comes in to pinch hit. He has a .290 average with 1 home run and 4 RBIs this season. He also excels at hitting for contact against lefties. After fighting off some tough pitches, Jay gives a 3-2 a ride into left center, falling down just short of the wall, and that's a leadoff double. Kai Zitkala is back up for the top of the order, and she singles into right with nobody still out for Robin Reed, who already has a home run on the game. Kai's speed comes into play on the first pitch of the at-bat as she steals second. Now Robin blasts another one deep into right center. This one bounces off the top of the wall and rolls away from Ling out there in center. By the time it's back in the infield, the Battlehawks have the lead thanks to the RBI double from Reed. Slider exits as Jackie Brooks comes in to stop the bleeding. Fulton gets Reed over to third on a fielder's choice for the first out. Jenna Bond has an RBI chance, but she won't get it as she goes down on strikes for the second out. Jalen McBride now with the RBI opportunity. He drills a ball to first. Davenport lays out for it, knocks it over to May, who throws it to the covering Brooks for the final out of the inning. Wow. Sylvia Fox takes over on the mound heading into the top of the second. After Crush Gonzalez walks, Rose Davenport lifts a single into right field, so here's an RBI chance for Jennifer Marks with 2 outs. She hits a single into center. The third base coach is waving Gonzalez around. The throw home is bobbled as she slides in safely to tie the game. May comes up still looking for her first career hit and possible RBI. She won't get it here as she grounds out to Fulton at short to end the inning. Game is tied at 3, heading to the bottom of the 7th. Bottom 7 after Brooks walks, paying to start the inning. She bounces back, striking out Khalil Archer for his second time in the game. Francoeur also is set down, so back-to-back strikeouts from Brooks. Jackie gets the 3-piece as she gasses the fastball by the pitcher Fox, and a dominant half of the 7th is over. Bottom of the 9th, and Jalen McBride leads off singling into center. The hit and run is successful as Pang hits it to the hole at short. Lilith is able to range back to field the ball, but is not able to get out anywhere. Manager Soriano makes a switch and goes to Donisha Moss, who's had to pitch a lot in the last few games, as McBride gets over to third on a stolen base. Khalil Archer, who's 0 for 3 to this point, is the hero for the Battlehawks, as he smashes the 1-2 into the right center gap. It rolls to the wall. McBride comes across to score, and the Battlehawks come back to win in walk-off fashion 4-3 in Game 1 of the series. Each team racks up 7 hits, but the Battlehawks are able to do enough and extend the widow losing streak to 4. Robin Reed, Lilith Nightingale, and Jennifer Marks are the 3 stars in this game. Looking ahead to Game 2 of the series, the Battlehawks are tied with the Justice for first place in the Monument, while the Widows are tied for 5th with the Dragons at 5 and 8. Around the league, more moves are being made as players get signed and released. The Sirens improve their bullpen as 39-year-old Mika Uchida gets released, and in her place comes 23-year-old Arisu Abe. Abe's strength is her velocity, which is above average, but her junk is not far behind, being in the average tier, I would say. The 23-year-old is excited at the chance to help the Sirens reach the playoffs, as they are currently 6-7 in 6th place in the Monument Conference. The Swordfish also make a sign and release, as they let go of veteran shortstop Darius Carter and make a big splash signing, improving their outfield, getting center fielder Donovan Blackwell signed to a $16.1 million contract. Jane Sappho was seen getting some extra target practice in, thanks to some virtual reality assistance. As a result, her velocity continues to get better. Sally's slow pitch, on the other hand, continues to work with the pitching coaches as she shores up her mechanics. She's by far the weakest pitcher on the team, but there's no denying her will to get better, and the extra work she's putting in has helped to see improvement in her velocity, off-speed pitches, and she's been able to hit her spots a little more consistently in bullpen sessions. We'll see how it translates over into games as she's due to return in the next start. Hopefully we'll see her on the mound. In Game 2, Vika Ivanova will start for the Widows. She's still winless on the season, but has a very good ERA of 2.25. Phoebe Epps starts for the Battlehawks. She's 1-2 and has an ERA of 4.67. Fatima de la Cruz returns to the lineup for Game 2 and will bat second as Tatiana May goes to the bench. Barbara Dixon replaces Chloe Nightingale at third and will bat 8th. Yao Ling starts the game off on an exciting note as she gives the pitch a ride deep into left field, but the Lafayette Corner crowd breathes a sigh of relief as it lands in the glove of McBride for the first out. Lilith Nightingale follows, driving the 1-2 back up the middle for a single and the first hit of the day. De La Cruz flies out to left field for the second out, so Crush Gonzalez digs in. She hits a sharp grounder to third, and Frank Core is able to retire the speedster for the final out of the Widows' half of the first. Kai Zakala looks to start off on a high note in Game 2, but she pops out to Davenport at first for out number 1. Robin Reed steps in, and she hits a grounder right to Ivanova for the second out. Now it's Jalen McBride's turn to try and get on board in the first, but he's not able to as he whiffs on the fastball, so the Battlehawks go down in order as Vika tallies her first strikeout of the game. Top of the second, after Jin walks to get on first with 1 out, Jennifer Marks hits a hard ground ball to short. It's close, but they turn the 6-4 3-double play to end the inning. Bottom 2 with 1 out, Jay Munoz slaps a single into center to bring up catcher Yuhan Peng. Munoz doesn't last long as Jin fires down to second and catches him stealing for the second out. Peng then grounds out to shortstop and the second inning ends still scoreless. Top of the third and Epps gets to work. She starts the inning getting Barbara Dixon to strike out. Ivanova suffers the same fate as Dixon, but she goes down looking at a great pitch in the zone. Top of the order is Ling, and all she can do is ground out to second for a quick 1-2-3 half inning. Bottom of the third gets off to an exciting start. As Khalil Archer is ready for the fastball, he sends it out to center. It looks to be going a long way, but it falls into the glove of Ling for the first out. Next up is Aya Francoeur, and she lines the curveball into the left. It's hooking away from Gonzalez out there, but she lays out and takes away a hit. Talk about a web jam. 2 games in a row as well. The inning ends as Epps grounds out to De La Cruz at second. Lilith Nightingale starts the top of the fourth, slashing a single into left. Fatima grounds into a fielder's choice, so now it's Crush's turn at the dish. Jalen McBride says, "I saw what you did, and I can do that too," as he slides in to take away a base hit from Gonzalez for out number 2. Rose Davenport walks to put 2 on with 2 outs, and the power-hitting Kan Yi Jin at the plate. She ends the inning striking out as she takes a huge hack at the inside pitch. No runs still for either side in this pitcher's duel. Let's move forward a bit to the top of the 6th. 1 out, and Fatima de la Cruz is up. She reaches first as she draws another walk from Epps, laying off the slider up in the zone. Crush Gonzalez sends a heater down the third base line. Francoeur is able to knock it down, but the throw to second is late, and now here's an RBI chance for Rose Davenport. She's going to be denied as Epps sends her back to the bench with a strikeout. Jin has a turn to get an RBI. She won't get it, but she does hammer this into center past the diving Fulton at short to load the bases for Jennifer Marks. She comes through, lining the 3-2 in the right field all the way to the wall as 2 runs come across, and they will count despite Marks getting thrown out going back to first. as she made her turn way too wide. Bottom 6 and Ivanova continues to groove. She starts out facing Jenna Bond as she pinch hits for Phoebe Epps. Bond is set down on strikes to give Vika 12 on the season. She follows that up by getting Kai Zetkawa to look at strike 3 as the fastball paints the inside corner. The inning closes as Reed lines out to second, but what a great display of pitching from the power pitching Russian on the mound. Top of the 7th with 2 outs, Yao Ling steps up looking to keep the inning going. She does just that in a big way as she blasts the 3-1 way out over the left center field fence for a 401-foot solo bomb. Her second of the season and 4th RBI puts the Widows up 3. Jalen McBride leads off Battlehawks half of the 7th with a bang as he rips the 2-seam fastball from Ivanova into the second deck in right to put them on the board. The 416-foot shot is McBride's second home run of the year and his 7th RBI. Fulton keeps the pressure on Vika as he lines a single over the glove of De La Cruz into right. Ivanova's night ends here as Jackie Brooks takes over to face Jay Munoz. Munoz works a walk, so now there's trouble as he's a tying run and Yuhan Peng steps in. Peng singles into center. Ling fires home, but the throw is just a bit late, and the Battlehawks are within 1. Khalil Archer digs in, and he singles into center. Ling gets second opportunity for out at the plate, and despite the throw being offline, Jin is able to put the tag on Munoz at home to prevent the tying run and getting the first out of the inning. Aya Francourt's turn now, and she's taking a long walk back to the dugout as she looks at strike 3 for out number 2. Chanel Peng, Yuhan's daughter, comes in to pinch hit for Tyreek Talon, and she grounds out the De La Cruz to finally end the 7th, but the Battlehawks are back in this game. Bottom 9 and Jane Sappho steps to the mound for the save opportunity. She gets off to a good start, getting Reno Fulton to ground out. Next up is Jay Munoz, and he hits the soft grounder to Chloe Nightingale at third, who entered pinch hitting for Dixon in the 8th for the second out. Yuhan Peng is the last chance for the Battlehawks, and he reaches as Gonzalez misplays the line drive, so this brings up the go-ahead run in Khalil Archer, who was the hero in Game 1. Archer's not able to repeat his heroics as he hits the ground ball back to Sappho for the final out, and the Widows snap the 4-game losing streak and once again split a season series with the Battlehawks and winning this game 3-2. Vika Ivanova, Yuhan Peng, and Jennifer Marks are your 3 stars of the game. More signings going on around the league as the Battlehawks signed 21-year-old left fielder Feather Guerrero to replace the 30-year-old first baseman Tasha Walensky. Rumors say that Walensky was becoming a problem in the locker room, and that's what led to her being released. Guerrero is more than likely going to become the starter in left for the Battlehawks due to her ability to hit for contact, and the speed she has gives her the ability to cover some extra ground in the outfield. The Mighty made their second move of the season as they signed 22-year-old Daichi Bushida to a $8.6 million contract to shore up the back end of their bullpen as he fills the closer role left by Pops Jackson. Eli O'Brien is the one who gets released, and there were reports he was frustrated by his lack of use by the team, and he took it out on the coaching staff. That's not going to sit well with any team, especially this Mighty squad, as they're in the thick of the playoff race. Bushida in a press conference says that he brings the will of a warrior to the mound, and his goal is to stop anyone who steps up to face him. Big words from a young player entering the league, so we'll see how he handles the bright lights that's sure to be on him when he takes the mound for the first time. The Widows sit at 6-8, still tied for 4th with the Dragons, and now the Monarchs are in first place in the Valiant, as they have a half-game lead over the Battlehawks and Justice, while the Monument Conference's first place spot is separated by just 1 game between the Swordfish, Nightmare, and Tigers. Next up for the Widows is a much-anticipated matchup with the Mighty. We won't see Crush face off against her sister Gabriella this time. Instead, Audrey Messier will go toe-to-toe with Kurt Underwood and this very potent Mighty offense. they're going to have to keep the offense to a minimum to have success in this game. With only 9 games to go in the regular season, every win is important, especially for our Widows, who right now are on the outside looking in of the playoffs. Alrighty everyone, that's going to wrap this one up. A pleasure as always. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. I'd like to get you all more involved in the series, so if you'd like, take a few minutes. There's a template in the comments below to create a free agent for the series. I'd love to get some of your players into the universe here. One of my favorite parts about these customizable games is having my own universe, and getting you guys as players involved in the universe is going to be really good for me and for you guys too, I think. The only thing I ask is that you keep the names somewhat appropriate. I don't mind them being funny or anything like that, or if you want them to be on a certain team or anything like that, put that in there as well in the template when you fill it out. But let me know. While you're doing that, be sure to like the video, share wherever you share cool stuff, and of course, subscribe so you can be notified when videos go live for you. Join the B-Team community, follow me on Twitch and Twitter. Those links are in the description box down below. There will be full game videos the rest of the way till the playoffs, so be sure to get all caught up on the series if you haven't. Until next time, you guys, you know what to do though. Keep on shining and keep on grinding. I will see you all in the next one.